Charlie Louvin, Part 2 of 7.
You've already put big old tears in my eyes. Must you throw dirt in my face?
Hey everybody, it's Marla Sitten with NashvilleMusicSpace.com, and I'm here with the living legend, Charlie Louvin. It's been written and talked about that you guys, the Louvin Brothers, were one of the most influential duos in country music history. And coming from those humble beginnings, what does that feel like to be the most influential?
Well, you go to bed one night and you dream a wild dream, and you get up the next day and it comes true. That's what it feels like. It's not work, Marla. What I do is not work. And if you enjoy what you're doing, then it isn't work. But it's, I've been lucky, other than the Peerless Pulling Mill, I never had to punch a card and watch my watch slow down real slow, and it'd take 12 hours for an 8-hour shift to get over. And I'm especially thankful that I can make a living doing what I love.
In 1950s there, you said you made your first appearance on the Grand Ole Opry. Do you remember what that felt like? You remember that day? And
I don't remember a whole lot of that. I remember my knees did well to hold me up. They became solid rubber. Roy Acuff introduced us the first night there. And we'd been doing gospel music, for 3, 4 years. And so our song that we sang that night naturally would be gospel. It was Love Thy Neighbor as Thyself. And we got an encore, and that just ruined us. I had to go out and buy a hat 2 sizes bigger than I was wearing when we got to do
you got
the
a little
show.
ego going on?
No, I never had that. I never think of myself as good, but I just do the best I can. Your best today might not be as good as your best tomorrow. And that's the way it is with someone who sings or plays. You can do your best, but it might not be as good as it was yesterday. And it's all in here. It's the way you feel of yourself. And but if you're proud of yourself, it shows, and people will appreciate you more.
Now, a few years after that, in 1955, you guys became members of the Grand Ole Opry.
Very true.
And do you remember what that was like? Was that a different feeling than the first show, or did you feel accepted at that point? Was that the moment of acceptance?
I think that Mr. Acuff made us feel at home. He gave us a introduction that we really had to work to come up to. You know, it's bad when people introduce you and tell how great you are and you go out and flop. But we were lucky that people accepted us that night, and it was a dream come true. And we only stayed a duet from 1955 till August of 1963.
Right.
So it was like a fraction over 8 years.
Right.
But it changed his life, and it changed mine. And,
Now, during that time, you guys had 20 chart-making records, and the first time you really had your song on the charts, were you just jumping for joy and overwhelmed by it?
yeah, you wanted to just walk to all the radio stations all over the United States and thank them in person, which would be impossible, but that's the way we felt. We felt that the DJs, at that time we felt that the DJs had done all this for us, and that would be omitting the fan. And that's something that no artist should ever do, is to forget who put you where you are, who is making a living for you. It's the fans that's doing it. And I won't ever forget that. Of course, prior to our going to the Opry, Ira and I won 18 awards singing gospel music. We had every award that they had to offer. They never called us a duo. They called us a small vocal group. So that's what they you know, it would go up to 3 or 4. It would be a small vocal group, but we still won the awards and did quite well.
Now, in 1963, you guys no longer were a duo, and then in 1965, your brother Ira was tragically killed in a car accident. And that was a life-changing time for you, wasn't it?
Well, yes, I'd already, I remained with the Capitol Record people. He said that he was going to get out. He preached that lots of times. When this trip's over, I'm finished. I'm not going out anymore. So Betty and I never knew where to just buy maybe $10 worth of groceries because we might have to move next week. But then finally on August the 18th, I told him, I said, I've heard this 1,000 times, and it's true. This will be the last show we work together. The money was down. The bookings was almost impossible to get. And so somebody had to leave. And I'll be the heel if that's the way they think of me as.
Well, I don't believe that's the case.
That somebody had to leave because the Louvin Brothers was going downhill.
Now, you continued your solo career and you kept performing on the Opry. And how was it when you first became a solo act? Was that a hard transition?
Well, history tells you that you could count on that hand right there the people that were part of a trio or part of a quartet or part of a duo and broke up, that neither of them would ever amount to, as the old saying goes, a hill of beans. And so I felt myself very lucky when a Bill Anderson song, I Don't Love You Anymore, it became a hit. It didn't make #1. I think it went to 3 or 4. And later I recorded other Bill Anderson songs and Ed Bruce songs and Dallas Frazier songs, Curly Putman songs, Harlan Howard songs. I recorded what I thought was the best song that I could find. And I didn't care who wrote it. I hope I didn't have any, but if my worst enemy would write a song better than anything I had, I would be glad to record it.
It all begins with a song, doesn't it? That's where the careers are made.
A hit song, don't care who sings it.
That's right.
And once in a while those hit songs come along. They're certainly not all hit songs. They're good songs. But a hit song don't care who sings it. I think the lady that recorded the Harper Valley PTA proved that. The girl that recorded Tallahatchie Bridge never had another record their whole life, and but she had that one hit. And I think that most anyone, any girls especially, could have had a hit record with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for a show tonight? Let me hear you say yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, straight from the Hall of Fame, from Country Music's Hall of Fame, the man who helped change lives and change music throughout history, gave Elvis Presley his phrasing, George Jones his voice, and on and on. The one and only and the great Charlie Louvin. Let's hear it.
To die was the night when you told me